Stop sharing your screen. Crash your screen? Huh, okay. So this is the last verse we studied last week. Those who are serious about liberation are certainly non-envious, and they respect all. Yet they reject the horrible and ghastly forms of the demigods and worship only the all blissful form of Lord Vishnu and his plenary portions. So we spoke about the demigod worship and how vehemently opposed to demigod worship Krishna is, as he has spoken in the Bhagavad Gita. And so is the Srimad Bhagavatam, as we are hearing from Vyasdev, from great sages. The demigod worship is not seen as something that's worth doing. So as Vaishnavas, our exclusive shelter is Krishna, Krishna Eka Sharanam. As today morning also I was saying, Krishna Eka Sharanam. We only depend on our Supreme Lord. No matter how attractive demigods might be, how quick, we can get quick fixes from demigods and godmen and do this black magic and do this, that, right? We focus on our exclusive shelter, Krishna. Next verse. Rajastamas praktaratya samasita bhajanti vai pitrabhuta praje sadin shriya sarvaya prajepsava. Those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance worship those in the same category, namely forefathers, other living beings, and the demigods who are in charge of cosmic activities. For they are urged by a desire, be materially benefited with women, wealth, power, and progeny. So again, exactly word for word from the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says the same thing, that kamasyasya ritagyana bhajate anna devata. That those whose minds are focused on lust and sense gratification, such people worship demigods. Those who are on their path to liberation, they worship Krishna only, because demigods themselves are pegged to the material world. They can't give liberation. The only personality who can give liberation is Krishna. Can anyone think of a Vedic example where this has been proven, where a certain demigod, great demigod, was asked for immortality and he was not able to gift it? Yogesh?
I'm thinking, Prabhuji, I think Vishwamitra,
You don't have to go so
Vishwamitra.
difficult. It's very simple. Very easy example right in front of you.
Prabhuji, Ravana
Yeah?
asked Brahma for immortality, right?
Yes. Ravana asked Brahma, Hiranyakashipu asked Brahma, and Brahma, being a great demigod, he couldn't gift it. He's like, hey, I'm dying myself. I can't gift you immortality. I am mortal. I live for 100 years. His time, 100 years. Right? So, the only Vishnu can give you. And Hiranyakashipu was like, no thanks, not going to Vishnu. So you can't kill me during day, during night, no man, no animals, no weapons, this, that, and he thought he tricked. But he was eventually killed by Narsingadev. So only Krishna, Rakhe Krishna Mare Krishna Rakhe ke. Right? When Krishna wants to kill you, no one can serve you. When Krishna wants to save you, no one can kill you. So demigods are within this material purview, so they don't have the ability to give liberation. Only Krishna can, because he is outside this purview of material creation. Next verse. Prayash. Okay. Any
Hare
anybody wants to
Krishna,
read?
it is not showing.
It's showing now.
Okay, Prabhu.
Aparna, please go ahead, read.
Yeah, Prabhupada. Canto 1, Chapter 2, text 28 and 29. Vasudeva Paraveda Vasudeva Paramakha Vasudeva Parayoga Vasudeva Paraha Kriya Vasudeva Param Jnanam Vasudeva Param Tapah Vasudeva Paro Dharma Vasudeva Paragatihi. Translation. In the revealed scriptures, the ultimate object of knowledge is Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The purpose of performing sacrifice is to please Him. Yoga is for realizing Him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by Him only. He is supreme knowledge, and all severe austerities are performed to know Him. Religion, dharma, is rendering loving service unto Him. He is the supreme goal of life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sounds very, very familiar again. Vedyascha sarve rahamevya vedya. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, of all the Vedas, I am to be known. Right? There's nothing else. This is ultimate samam bonum. So of all the Vedas, Krishna is to be known. Krishna is personally speaking, and Krishna's pure devotees are also saying the same thing. So that's the beauty of disciplic succession. You're getting the knowledge exactly as it is given by the Lord Himself. And this is even more beautiful because this verse, Vasudeva, 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 right? Constantly, there's a name of Krishna, 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 Krishna. Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Makha, Vasudeva para Yoga, Vasudeva para Kriya. Para means supreme, 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 supreme. Vasudeva is everything. Sa Mahatma sa Sudurlava. Bahunam Janmanamante, Gyanavan Mam Prapyate, Vasudevam Sarvamiti, Sa Mahatma Sadurlabha. Right? So, after many, many births, of doing pious activities, one finally comes to the conclusion that Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Vasudeva is everything. Iti. End all, be all. Sa Mahatma, such a great person, Sudurlabha, is very hard to find. Very rarely people come to this conclusion. Because there's a secret, it's a confidential knowledge, not for everyone. We are fortunate that we have received this knowledge. And Srimad Bhagavatam is corroborating exactly what Bhagavad Gita has spoken. So Krishna and Krishna's devotees are saying the same thing. That in the revealed scriptures, the ultimate object of knowledge is Sri Krishna. Vedascha sarva ahavemya vedya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead. The purpose of performing sacrifice is to please Him. Yoga is for realizing Him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by Him only. So we are doing all this chanting, hearing, sacrifices. So the good things, auspicious things that are happening in our life are rewarded by Krishna personally. Do not think demigods have any role to play here. For devotees, Krishna personally takes care of us. Just like a father takes care of his child. I was just now in a meeting. Is a dear friend of mine. His father is the richest man in Bengal, a multi-billionaire. So his father is he founded. So the stock prices have gone down and everything, and it's going to go up again. So, we were joking like, oh, now your father will have a lot of time for you. And he's like, my father has always had time for me. Because of my father, I am who I am. Even with his busy schedule, even though his company stocks are going up and down, even though, government is calling him and, such and such, this and that, lawsuits are going on. My father has how he feels about us. So that is how a father always acts. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Aham Bij Prada Pitaha. I am the seed giving father. I am your father. Arjuna is thinking, oh, he's my friend. Krishna is saying, I'm your father. I'm the seed giving father. You've come from me. Right? So for his own children, especially those who have come back to the father, he personally takes care. He personally takes interest in our lives. And he personally orchestrates things for us. That is Krishna. Right? Now you might think there are so many millions and billions of devotees. Yes, and that is Krishna's, that's why he is God. He is able to dance with millions and millions of gopis, each gopi seeing Krishna personally, that Krishna is dancing with me exclusively. He's able to expand himself to millions and millions of Krishnas. So every gopi is getting personal individual attention from Krishna. Same way, as Paramatma, he is in our heart, giving us individual attention. And so as devotees, we have the privilege of getting Krishna, giving us the path forward as we go along in our lives, allowing us to reap the benefits of the work that we are doing. And if something that's supposed to hurt us, he's protecting us. He's personally involved in our lives. And that is the beauty of being a devotee. Because being a devotee does not necessarily mean all problems will go away. Being a devotee means Krishna will be on my chariot. And when Krishna is on your chariot, there is going to be the Bhagavad Gita, there is going to be victory, there is going to be morality, there is going to be opulence, and there's going to be the relationship, the deep, relationship and loving exchange with your creator, with your dear father and friend, Krishna. That is what it means to be a devotee. So when Krishna is on our chariot, life is good. Even if it might seem like there are ups and downs, life is good. So that's what the revealed scriptures are revealing to us. So it means not who knows Sanskrit. This is not accessible to all the people who are PhDs in Vedic knowledge. This is not accessible to the Munis, the Gyanis. This is accessible only to whom Krishna wants to reveal it to. Krishna reveals it to his devotees. Bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasyat etatu uttamam. You're my friend, you're my devotee. I will reveal this greatest secret to you. Rahasya, secret. So being scholarly is not a qualification to be a devotee. Being rich is not a qualification to be a devotee. Being intelligent is not a qualification to be a devotee. The only qualification is eagerness. I don't know. I want to know. My dear Krishna, I want to be your devotee. That's it. That's the qualification. Just the desire to be Krishna's devotee. And that all auspiciousness is personally brought forth by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There was one time, Jagannath's devotee, very amazing, pure devotee of Lord Jagannath. He was, can you stop sharing the screen, Prayash? So he was having a very bad situation where his health was very, bad state. And he was throwing up, he was puking, he was having loose motions. And eventually he was smelling so bad that his caregivers eventually couldn't be around him. He was in a pool of his own and pus and all the dirty things you can imagine. So he was, in tears, and he was just remembering Lord Jagannath, so that as he leaves his body, he can remember Jagannath. Suddenly Jagannath appeared, and Jagannath started cleaning all the dirty things, cleaning his body, cleaning everything. And he was half conscious, and he is looking, and he's like, Jagannath, you shouldn't be touching all these dirty things. This is not something you should be doing. Why don't you just cure my disease? That takes care of things. Jagannath's response was, you're suffering because of your karma. But I am your father. I can't see you suffering like this. That's why I'm cleaning you up. I'm personally taking care of you. Your karma, that will take its own toll. It'll take its own thing. But I personally care for my devotees. So I personally come for you to clean you up, to make you comfortable, and to make you happy. Same thing we see in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. One time, Sanatana Goswami, he drank some dirty water. And from that dirty water, he got, ugly boils all over his body. These boils were filled with pus. It was smelling. They were maggots. And Sanatana Goswami was like, oh God, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as soon as he sees me, he will hug me. I don't want that. And he's contemplating, should I commit suicide? Should I do this? Should I do that? Oh God, I'll be around devotees. This is not good. What do I do? What do I do? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knocks on his door. He says, Sanatan, how are you? Oh my Lord, I don't want you seeing me like this. Sanatan, this body is not yours. This body is mine. You can't just kill yourself. You belong to me. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hugged him. And he was like, oh no, Mahaprabhu, not me, please. And as soon as Mahaprabhu hugged him, all the boils got healed. And he was cured from his disease. And Mahaprabhu, again, same way as Jagannath was saying, that, I'm your father. I can't see you like this. It doesn't bother me, just like a mother doesn't care cleaning the mess of her son. Same way, it doesn't bother me cleaning the mess of my children. I'm personally involved in the lives of my devotees. So this Bhagavatam verse is also sharing the same thing, that Krishna is personally involved. The revealed scriptures, this is Krishna revealing to us that not only that the fact that the ultimate object of knowledge is Krishna, he's best, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that, but the rewards of all the fruitive activities are given by him only. He's a supreme knowledge. All severe austerities are performed to know him. Religion, dharma, is rendering loving service unto him. That is our only dharma. Dharma does not mean religion. Dharma means, here the religion word is used because English is a limited language. But dharma means the intrinsic nature of, the constitutional nature of. The constitutional nature of water is to be liquid. The constitutional nature of chili is to be hot. The constitutional nature of the soul is to perform devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead with love. Loving devotional service. Bhakti, prem bhakti. That is the constitutional nature of the devotee, of the soul. And when one loves God, he loves all things that belong to God. Everything belongs to God. All beings belong to God. Krishna is in everyone's heart. Every human being, every rat, every insect, every mosquito has Supersoul within. So when we love Krishna, we love all his creations. We conserve water. We conserve environment. We look at everything and we say, oh, let me take care of it because this belongs to my father, Krishna, right? So that is what loving Krishna means. Loving Krishna is not like I love Krishna and I forget the world. No. Loving Krishna means I love Krishna, hence I love everything that has come from Krishna. And I respect all things and all beings. So we don't waste food. We don't waste electricity. We respect all beings. If they're dangerous, we respect them from far. Sometimes human beings are also very dangerous. So we respect them from far. We say Hare Krishna from far, right? And there are people who we hug, who we love, who we share our hearts with, that we trust, right? So that is what our constitutional position is, to love and be loved. Love God and love all his creations as well. Okay, Prayash, you can share the screen again. He is the supreme goal of life. The Krishna is our goal of life. Serving Krishna, being a devotee, is the goal of our life. If it is not clear to you yet, yes, there are other ancillary goals that we might have. I like that car, I like that house, I like that this, I like to go around the world. But end of the day, as we understand, our spirit and serving him. Okay. Are we on the next verse? Can we go to the next verse, Prayash?
Canto 1, chapter 2, text 30. Sa evedam sasar Shakti Bhagavan Atma Mayaya Sad Asad Rupaya Jaso Gunamaya Guno Vibhuha. Translation. In the beginning of the material creation, that absolute personality of Godhead Vasudeva is his transcendental position, created the energies of cause and effect by his own internal energy.
Next verse.
Verse 31. Taya vilasitesve isu guneshu gunavan iva antaha pravishta abhati vijnanena vichrimpitaha. Translation. After creating the material substance, the Lord Vasudeva expands himself and enters into it. And although he is within the material modes of nature and appears to be one of the created beings, he is always fully enlightened in his transcendental position.
Thank you very much. So, with his own energy, Daiviyesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratya. With his own energies, Krishna has created the material creation, and then he has entered into the material creation, not only as Karanadakshaya Vishnu, but also in every atom as Paramatma, and every heart as Paramatma. So in the hearts of all living beings, Krishna is residing, and in every atom, in Paramanu, Andantarastha, Paramanu Antarastha, that he's smaller than the smallest, that he can fit in an atom. And he's larger than the largest, that universes come out of his sweat pores. Govinda Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Such great personality is Govinda, who I worship. Right? So Govinda, he is smaller than the smallest, is larger than the largest. And through his internal potencies, not only creates it, he enters it. Why? Because he loves us. We left him. We didn't want to be with him. But he enters into this dark material world just so he can create an environment that is conducive for us. And when we desire to go back to him, we can come back to him. We can have the resources, the abilities, the knowledge, the devotees, so that we can come back to him. So not only he enters, he also arranges for his pure devotees, to the Guru Shishya Parampara, to come and remind us, yuge yuge. He comes in his form as an avatar, and his devotees also come to remind us, hey, this place is Dukhalaya Bashashwatam. It's temporary. It's a place of misery. You don't belong here. Please come back. Just like Indra was reminded by Brahma. One time Indra got cursed. One of the many times Indra keeps getting cursed for his behavior. So one time Indra got cursed to become a pig. Or rather, yeah, he was a pig with his pig wife and pig family and pig kids. And, heaven was kingless. So Brahma came down and said, hey, enough of your pig life. Now it's time to go back and rule heaven. And Indra's like, hello, hello. I'm happy being a pig. Look at my beautiful pig wife and pig children. Brahma's like, this guy's too attached. So he just eliminates his children and his wife. And he's like, no worries. I'll marry another pig wife and have more pig children with her. Brahma's like, my God, this guy does not understand what is waiting for him. Apsaras and Menaka and Urvashi and all them are waiting to dance for him. And here he is stuck in his pig life, right? Now that's a material example. But spiritually, imagine what is waiting for us in the spiritual world. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that every word is a Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
In Brahma Samhita, it is said every word is a song in the spiritual world, and every step is a dance. And then Jiva Goswami gives us purport, saying, imagine if every word is a song, what their song must be like. Imagine if every step is a dance, what their dance must be like. They use precious stones as door stoppers, right? They use every tree over there is Kalpavriksha. No one cares. Everybody is focused on when is Krishna going to come back after herding the cows. So that's what's waiting for us. Krishna being with us personally, having interaction, playing, tug of war or dancing with him or whatever capacity. That is what's waiting. And the great disciplic succession, these personalities, they come and remind us, hey, forget your pig life. Come back and enjoy with Krishna. No, I'm happy. Oh, my attachments. Oh my God, my life here is so perfect. I want to take another birth. Mark Cuban, he's a billionaire. Mark Cuban was sharing once in an interview that if there is a next life, I would like to be born as Mark Cuban. I've worked way too hard to get to this billionaire status. I would not want to miss it for anything. I would like to be born again as Mark Cuban. Unfortunately, you don't get to choose that. Your karma and your choices, that define what happens to you, right? So in our case, thankfully, Krishna is on our side. So in spite of our whatever karma, Krishna is partial to his devotees. So it's important to understand that we are on something very precious, on a journey to a very precious goal, a goal that demigods also can't aspire for, can't even imagine, right? Great sages who are in Tapaloka for millennia and millennia, even for them, it might not be so easy to achieve. But for us, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it accessible, right? All right. You can share the screen again, Prayash. Next verse. And Aparna, kindly read. Or recite. Sorry, not read.
1.2.32 यथा हे अवहितो वाणी दारुष्व एकः स्वयुनुषु नानेव भाति विश्वात्मा भूतेषु च तथा पुमान्. Translation. The Lord as Supersoul pervades all things, just as fire permeates wood, and so he appears to be of many varieties, though he is the absolute one without a second.
So Krishna Eka Sharanam. God is one. The Lord, a super soul, pervades all things. Like I said, he is in the atom. He is in everyone's heart. He is also, as Mahavishnu, from him, universes are coming out. So one who's a devotee doesn't feel he's away from Krishna because Krishna is everywhere. He permeates everything. Just like fire permeates wood. What does that mean? According to the Vedic understanding, the reason why wood burns is because the fire is already inside the wood. That is why the wood is able to burn. When you put a little spark, the wood catches fire and so much fire comes out of the wood. Why? Because the fire was already in the wood. When a body is being burnt, a dead body, right? The fire was already in the body and it is coming out. It's been released. So that's the understanding. So just like in wood, you can't see the fire, but the fire permeates it. Same way, even though we can't see Krishna, Krishna permeates all creation. And he is the absolute without second. He appears to be many varieties, but he is absolute without second. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna very nicely speaks about this in all humility. He says, Sutre Manigada Eva. That just like on a string, pearls are beautifully strung and you can't see the string. You can only see the necklace. Same way, the whole universe, the whole creation is resting upon me. You can't see me. You see the creation, right? So we don't see the string holding the necklace, but the string is giving shape to the necklace. Same way, Krishna permeates entire creation. He is giving shape to this creation. Okay, next verse. Kindly recite.
1.2.33 Asagunam Bhave Bhuta Suksmendriyatmabhi Nirmittishu Nirvishto Bhukte Bhuteshu Tad Gunan. Translation. The Supersoul enters into the bodies of the created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature and causes them to enjoy the effects of these modes of the subtle mind.
Okay. The next verse, the translation, the super soul enters into the bodies of the created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature and causes them to enjoy the effects of these modes by the subtle mind. The super soul not only pervades every atom, but he also pervades the bodies of the created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature and causes them to enjoy the effects of the modes. So again, Daiviyesha Gunamai Mama Maya Durate. So Daiviyesha Gunamai, these gunas, the modes of nature, are Krishna's divine energy, which are meant to influence us, to help us enjoy this material world, so-called enjoy this material world. Just like people have to like if somebody wants to enjoy something that is, let me give it, what kind of example can I use? Okay, nothing is coming to mind. Maybe I'll not give an example. But in short, Krishna is entering into the bodies. So creation is being spoken about and as super soul, and he is also sharing that these bodies, these personalities are being influenced by the modes of material nature that causes them to enjoy the effects of these modes, whatever enjoyment there might be. So the 8.4 million species of living beings, beginning from the highest intellectual being, Lord Brahma, down to the insignificant ant, all of them are enjoying the material world according to the desire of the subtle mind and gross material body. The gross material body is based on the conditions of the subtle mind, and the senses are created according to the desires of the living being. The Lord, as Paramatma, helps the living being to get material happiness because the living being is helpless in all respects in obtaining what he desires. So if we didn't have material happiness, imagine what life would be like, right? So it's important that we have material happiness, and Krishna's arranging for that as well. So it is important, like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Nitya ahara viharascha, right? So it's important that our ahara, our vihar, our eating, our sleeping, our entertainment should be balanced. So similarly, our material comforts are important, and Krishna is personally looking to it that we can be happy materially. But the thing about material happiness is it's temporary by nature, by design, so that somehow or other we are reminded that we should think about permanent happiness, permanent liberation, permanent place, permanent home, permanent best friend, Krishna. That is where we belong. So I'll pause here and I'll see if there are any questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, in the last verse, we heard that, the super
I
soul.
can't hear you. Can you speak up?
Yeah. Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So in the last verse, we saw. So this verse, we saw that super soul enters the bodies of created beings and causes them to enjoy the effects of these modes by the subtle mind. But we also know.
I'll pause you for a second, Krishna.
Okay.
I'm just
Okay.
switching to my laptop. Give me 10 seconds, okay?
Sure.
Yes, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, am I audible?
You're very audible. Please tell me.
Okay. So this verse, as it says that super soul enters the bodies of created beings and it causes them to enjoy the effects of these modes by the subtle mind. Now, I just wanted to understand that from our, learning from the Bhagavad Gita, we know that super soul is just like one bird which just observes as Paramatma, but
Right.
doesn't motivates or does anything, but just observes like our activities.
He doesn't interfere, but
He
he
doesn't
is
interfere.
a
Correct.
supercomputer who's allowing us to see, who's allowing us to digest our food, who's behind all the involuntary actions that are happening in the body. So
Okay.
involuntary action includes a lot of the things that require supercomputing power. 2 million neurons. Every microsecond we are processing that data, right?
Mm-hmm.
The soul is allowing us to breathe. When we are sleeping, we are still breathing. The heart is still beating, right?
Right.
Food is being digested. So super soul is, Paramatma is allowing all of those things to happen. So it is very important for us to understand that Paramatma, although not interfering with our choices, he's witnessing, he's a witness bird, but he is allowing us to function in this world without, because what we are doing as soul, we are just desiring. We are like Arjun on the chariot. Krishna, take the chariot that way. Krishna, take the chariot this way. But as soul, we can't interface with the body because the soul is spiritual, the body is material. Who's the interface? Paramatma. Paramatma is hearing us. Okay, you want to go right? Okay, I'll take the body to the right. So my legs are moving in that direction and Paramatma is allowing me to go in that direction. The brain is not the mind. The mind is subtle. Here, It says subtle mind. The brain is
Right.
material, but the mind
Right.
is sukshma. Mind is subtle. The subtle mind is allowing us, is interacting with the brain and telling the legs move, telling the eyes
Hmm.
close, blink, right? And that is who is manifesting that. So just like when you hit command P, you're printing with the, so from the computer's memory, it is going to the printer's memory. And there is a buffer in between. The interface between the computer and the printer, there is a buffer. Same way, the buffer between spiritual soul and material body is Paramatma. Spiritual soul says, I want to. Paramatma is making it happen through the material body.
Got it. Okay. So it's just like that, the examples you give sometimes, that we think about somebody and that person calls.
Yes.
So yeah, I got your point. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? C type. Anyone else has any questions?
Prabhuji, but many a times soul is sleeping, right? So in that case, super soul is functioning everything.
Soul is always sleeping. Unless someone wakes up the soul, it is in that mode only. And even when the soul is awake, still super soul is the one doing all the work. Whether the soul is awake or sleeping, the soul is incapable of dealing with the material energy. So super soul, Paramatma, is the one interacting with the body, with everything else, and manifesting it for us.
So super soul, on the basis of our past karma, modes of material nature, is acting on it.
Say that one more time.
Super soul, on the basis of our past karma, modes of material nature, is acting. We are performing
Right.
our
Somebody has
day-to-day
more
activities.
intelligence, somebody has less intelligence, somebody has more money, somebody has less money. So we are born with our karma based on a past karma, and within the karmic credit, within the karmic bank account, we are given situations, and in these situations, we have capacity to act. That capacity to act is given by super soul. Now, when we become devotees, the capacity becomes infinite. When we connect with infinite Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada, when he would tell devotees to do crazy things, like go to a country, start a temple, learn a new language, make devotees, or start a magazine company, or start a incense stick company. These are not entrepreneurs. They didn't have Kolkata Ventures incubating them. But Lord Brahma has given us everything. And when we connect with the infinite personality, Krishna, then infinite knowledge, infinite intelligence, infinite ability kicks in. Prabhupada told Sudama Maharaj, go to Tokyo, start learning Japanese and open the Tokyo Center, translate my books into Japanese and make Japanese devotees. 1.5 years, he was able to do all of that. He sent devotees to UK with $1,000 only. They went to UK. Prabhupada trained them for a week and said, go to UK, start the Hare Krishna movement in Europe. They were out of money. They were like, we tried. We don't have any more money. What do? We don't have money to pay rent. We should go back. And as they're speaking on the streets of London, money starts falling from the sky. These devotees are still alive. You can ask Malati Mataji, she was personally there. Money came flying from, and exactly the amount of money they had to pay rent. They're like, okay, we have 1 month's rent. So we have 1 month more to go. We can try for 1 more month. Let's see what happens. They made apple pie for the Apple Music, which was run by George Harrison. So every day they were making apple pie and delivering it to Apple Music. And George Harrison was like, where were you guys? You stopped giving us the pie. I love the Hare Krishnas. I want to hear your music. Sham Sundar Prabhu was there. Mother Yamuna was there. All these wonderful devotees were there. They sang with George Harrison. George Harrison said, I will sponsor your music album. The Hare Krishna album happened. It was chartbusters in entire Europe, Czechoslovakia to UK to Spain to all the countries where they don't speak our language. They were chanting Hare Krishna. And the Hare Krishna explosion happened. What did they have? These were former drug dealers. These were former hippies. They were not super PhDs from Stanford and Harvard. Srila Prabhupada instructed them. Krishna empowered them. Infinite Krishna made finite beings infinitely powerful. And they were able to do extraordinary things. And the Hare Krishna movement, the fire of Hare Krishna movement happened all over the world, from Europe to Africa to Asia to Australia, everywhere. Srila Prabhupada, in the last 14 years of his life, went around the world 12 times, making 10,000 disciples, 108 temples, sleeping only 2 hours a day. Who was powering Srila Prabhupada? Krishna. 3 heart attacks, kidney not functioning, right? We have Dr. Juhi here. Human beings can't function when you have this situation. But Srila Prabhupada slept 2 hours a day, translated the books all night. Mangalarati woke up, went for morning walks in the morning, gave Bhagavatam class, had breakfast, slept for an hour, started meeting devotees, then some studying here and there, then again meeting devotees, lunch, half an hour rest, then meeting with the governing body of ISKCON to plan ISKCON's expansion all over the world. Then evening, again meeting disciples and devotees and answering people's letters. Thousands of letters from all over the world would come. And again in the evening, translating books, chanting Hare Krishna 16 rounds, singing bhajans, Vaishnava bhajans, and then translating books all night long. This is impossible. This is a miracle just by itself. Where is the empowerment coming from? Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Krishna can empower anyone. And Prabhupada would say, I can do it. A 70-year-old man can do it. What is your excuse for not becoming a pure devotee? Then they said, Prabhupada, doesn't it take a lot of time? We are all mlechas, yavanas. We are meat eaters. We are this, we are that. Prabhupada said, nonsense. In 1866, Krishna says, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Braja. Aham tam sarva papyabhyo moksha shami masuchaha. All pap gone like that. Just surrender unto me. Instantly, millions of lifetimes karma, I'll burn it out. Surrender unto me. The Prabhupada would say, if I can do it, why can't you? Oh, but Prabhupada, you're Prabhupada. No, that's not why I came. I came to prove it to you that if I can do it, you can do it. I'm not leaving any secrets aside. I'm telling you everything that I know. Everything is in my books. You read my books and you become pure devotees and you have 10,000 disciples each, Srila Prabhupada said. He said, you become gurus. You read my books, you become gurus, and you initiate 10,000 disciples each, and you spread the Hare Krishna movement. You become just like me. Prabhupada never said, oh, I'm the only guru and you have to be below me. No. Whatever I have, you also have. I've given it. Now you become like me and you make other people fortunate. I have made you fortunate, you make others fortunate. Who will help you? Krishna will help you. All empowerment comes from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's the beauty of being in the disciplic succession. The mantras don't have power if you receive it outside the disciplic succession. The mantras, the scriptures, everything becomes understandable. Revealed knowledge becomes revealed to the devotee's heart by Paramatma when you're receiving it from the right source. Evam parampara praptam. Chapter 4, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that through this parampara, Arjun, when you receive this knowledge will act in such a way that will ignite that innate spiritual consciousness that is within your heart. I spoke this message 2 million years ago to Vivaswan, sun god. You were there, but you don't remember because you change your body. I don't change my body, so I remember. I'm speaking this message again because yoga nashta parantapaha. The disciplic succession has been broken. So I'm reminding you. With this knowledge, now you get up and you fight. So empowerment comes from Krishna. Krishna is personally involved in our lives. And if we pray to him, that's when Supersoul, although inert, although he is supposed to be, he doesn't take any sides, he doesn't interfere, the same Supersoul becomes Sham Sundar when we become devotees. Supersoul talks to us, he guides us, and it takes us to the right path and the right person, and the right opportunities open up. Even though we have certain karma, still residual karma is there, he'll use that karma to bring us to the right place where qualities will develop from negative situations, right? We might think it's a negative situation, but guess what? In that situation also, Krishna will help us bring out qualities like patience, bring out qualities like gratitude, like remembrance of Krishna. That's the best quality, right? When we have these qualities, now we fit in the spiritual world with the gopis and the gopas and Mother Yashoda and Nand Maharaj, because our qualities should match the qualities of the spiritual world. Otherwise, there also will be envious. Oh, why is Krishna dancing with that gopi? Why is Krishna not looking at me? Why am I not being the center of attention? Right? So we don't get to fit in there if we have these qualities. So by associating with Krishna, by bringing out the devotional qualities, Krishna is preparing us for the spiritual planet. Thereby, we can fit into the spiritual planet, dance with Krishna, be friends with Krishna's pure devotees, and fit in and be happy there eternally. And punarjanmana vidyate, never come back to this dark material world again. The world of temporariness and the world of illusion and the world of dukkha, dukkhalaya bashashvatam, where we are always suffering. Okay, any questions?
Prabhu,
Yes.
I have a question.
Please go ahead.
So in this last verse that we were talking about,
Mhm.
Krishna says like super soul enters enters the bodies and the created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature and causes them to enjoy the effects of modes. So basically, my question is like, let's say soul is sleeping, right? So what is causing us to move? Like, is it the system or is it the super soul?
It's the soul is spiritually asleep. Please understand. There's material intelligence, spiritual intelligence, material mind, spiritual mind. The soul is spiritually asleep, but it's still conscious. So the consciousness, like the fire, is innate within the wood. That's why the wood ignites. The soul, the consciousness, is in every part of our body. You touch, the mosquito sits on any part, we feel the pinch. Why? We are conscious on every part of the body. So consciousness is there. So soul is manifest in the form of consciousness. But when we hear Krishna Katha, when we eat Krishna Prasadam, when we chant Krishna's holy name, the soul awakens to the spiritual reality. Oh my God, where was I? I was totally in ignorance, not remembering my father. Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. Where is Krishna? The Goswamis of Vrindavan, the Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? They'll be looking for Krishna, missing Krishna. When the soul is awake, the natural innate love for Krishna is ignited. Then we, like a child, you give a child lollipop. Parents are not there. He'll not remember his parents as long as the lollipop is in his mouth. The moment the lollipop is over, where are my parents? Oh my God, am I alone here? What's happening? Right? So same way, somebody reminds us, hey, this is a material world. It's a dangerous place. Padam, padam, vipadam natesham. Every step there is vipad. Every step there is danger. Do you realize? Connect with Krishna, you can die any moment. You die, you go back to 8.4 million species of life. So we are reminded by devotees, by Guru Sadhu Shastra, by Guru, by scriptures, by devotees. Hey, this is not a place to be. It's Dukhalama Shashvatam. So then the soul is awake. Oh, yes. Now I see everything is misery. Before I was happy with my pig wife and pig kids. Now I'm realizing, oh my God, this is not a place to be. It's a place of suffering. It's temporary. I can die any moment. That's spiritual awakening. Now we're like, oh, Krishna, where are you? Krishna, I want to be with you. What can I do to come back? Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamapantite. I give you the intelligence by which you can come back to me. And that intelligence is backed by knowledge. That knowledge is backed by Bhagavad Gita. So the soul is awakened to spiritual reality. It is covered by material things. That's when we are asleep. Just like a room, the windows are closed. It's dark, but it's not dark. Sun is outside. You open the window, you're awake to the reality. Right? Does that answer your question, Prayash?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is very
Spiritual
clear.
awakening.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
It's 8:31, so I'll end it here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. See you next Friday.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.